Hi, in today's episode, I'm going to talk about a set of drawings which scares most of the students. Everybody believes that architecture is this super glamorous profession which is all about being only creative, making some fabulous black and white sketches, and talking endlessly about the concept of how you arrived at a particular design. Sometimes they get their inspiration from a flower, sometimes they get their inspiration from the kind of brick that you find lying around. And yes, of course, it is the initial concept, the entire initial sketch is very, very important. But there are many more layers to actually, putting up a building, and that is what one has to remember, that there are the architect is the mastermind, and he not only does the planning, but he also has to do the execution. He has to do the drawings. He has to do so much of it comes along with it. So we have to remember that architects are the masterminds, okay? So we have to take care of the entire project. We are with a project, we are hand-holding a project from the beginning right up to the end. So not only are we doing the initial sketches, but we also have to do the detailed drawings, we have to make site visits, etc. And our drawings have to be very, very explicit. They have to be absolutely crystal clear. You can leave nothing so that the site engineer is imagining what you want. All your dimensions, all your details have to be very, very correct and very, very effective. Whatever materials you want to use, you have to spec it the right way. What is the exact color you want to use? What is the exact thickness you want to use? For instance, if you're using, you're maybe using an HPL, which is exterior high pressure laminate, you will specify which make you want. Let's say you want to use a Fundamax, then you also say that, okay, I want to use a Fundamax which is 8 thick and which is outdoor grade. So, like I'm saying, it's of extreme importance that your drawings are accurate and very easily understandable. And whenever we interview candidates for a job, we always tell them that please bring your drawings along with you. And conducting one such interview, we decided that why only see their drawings? Why don't I show them what we expect? So of course we shared the kind of details that they should be doing, and sure enough, the next day the candidate did not show up, because obviously I think people have this they have this fear of creating details, and otherwise it's actually nothing. You've imagined the architecture. Now you actually require to put into black and white. You require to put down every detail, and you have to make a representation of your final product. This is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to show you this project which we actually completed about 3-4 years back. This is a building called 64 Greens. It's at Santa Cruz, and what you will see is that this actually there are 2 towers. Now this is the render of the lobby, and this is actually the image of the lobby. So you can see actually how close they are, which means that the specifications, the drawings, the intent which we gave right at the beginning is exactly what was executed. Now this can only happen if actually your drawings are up to the mark and they are very easily readable. And again, there's nothing to fear in putting down any of these drawings. Now again, if we look at this particular building, now on the external facade, there are all these aluminium screens, which are in varying sizes, and they are clad across the podium, and they're clad right across the building, right in the center. Now, when you're specifying something like this, again, you have to give the gauge of the aluminium, you have to give the color of the anodizing, you have to specify the spacing between the aluminium fins. Now, to show this, there is a drawing which I'm going to share with you, and which shows you that at every level, since we want the grid to be varying, there is a plan and there is a sectional detail of every level. And that is actually how you will achieve what you have thought, what you have designed, and what you actually want your project to shape up as. So working drawings are extremely important. We take some time. See, obviously, when you're making your first set, uh, you require to take some time. You require to understand. You will maybe make some mistakes, but that's fine. All of us make mistakes, and we only learn from our mistakes. And of course, I hope that those mistakes don't translate into construction, which of course I'm sure if you go to site you will find out. But you cannot shy away from them. They are an integral part of architecture, and you will never see your vision of of your building put up well if you cannot give accurate or perfect drawings. Now, in fact, there's another example also where that was a building, but on a smaller scale. You have a bungalow. Now, in this bungalow, what we have is we have some cladding details, on the outside where we used an HPL. In fact, we use Fundamax. And now this is specifically the detail of how we fix the Fundamax. Now, again, why I'm talking about specifically Fundamax is that in fixing this HPL, the company itself specifies that there should be a grid of 2 feet by 2 feet. Now, if you don't follow the grid and you don't follow the fixing details, what happens is that the material will warp. When the material warps, at a later date, a client is going to ask you that this material is no good. Now, it's not actually that the material is no good, but it's that your fixing details were not correct. So, it's something which you require to know. And today, actually, there's any material, frankly, anywhere in the world, you want to use that particular material, you actually just have to mail the company and they will give you all the details. So remember that it's very easy to get your specifications. Just take a little bit of time, take a little bit of effort, because it's like, the details are not just the details, said Charles Eames. It is these special moments in design, these special nuances that transform good buildings into extraordinary ones.